think something's going to happen. Like I hate when people just pray and be like, oh, well, God's going to give me this, or God's going to do this for me. God's giving you a opportunity. I had to tell several people, they're like, oh, well, I prayed to God for this, I prayed to God for that. But what have you done to get to that aspect, even though you prayed to God? For the simple fact, God gave you the opportunity to be able to meet different people to help you, right? And I always tell them the story, right? There was a man that had he was in his house in this little town, right? And his house began to flood. So his neighbor came by on a little ship, a little boat, right? And like, hey, come on, let's go, let's get out of here. And the guy was like, "No, I'm good. God gonna save me." No, before the boat came, there was a guy on a horse came like, "Hey, it's flood. We need to get out of here." He's like, "Nah, I'm good. God gonna save me." So then his neighbor came with not the neighbor, the Coast Guard came with a little boat, and he's like, "Hey, come on, let's go." He's like, "No, God gonna save me." So then they came like a little helicopter, whatever, dropped a letter and everything, and he's like, "Hey, come on, get up here. Let's go. The town is flooding." He's like, "No, God gonna save me." So the guy drowned, and he got to the pearly gates and he got to heaven. They let him in, and God was like, he's like, "God, why didn't you save me?" He's like, "I gave you 3 opportunities. I gave you a neighbor with the horse or the car, whatever you want to call it. I gave you people on a boat, and I gave you a helicopter with a letter for you to get out of there, but you chose to stay." So what decisions are we making? Understand, every time that we make decisions, don't think that, oh, well, I'm not going to take that because God going to save me. This is God saving you. Again, the devil's in the details. Don't take everything as face value. Look beneath and answer things.